Today, I'm going to show you how to create a photo gallery like this one. I'm going to walk you through how to create an easy to change wall display without pounding any nails or damaging the wall. And this technique works with a variety of different types of artwork. Glass photos, metal, and even traditionally framed artwork. Perhaps best of all, with a few hacks and some careful planning, it can be super affordable. The great thing about this setup is it creates a living gallery. You can easily add or rearrange your photos without much difficulty as time goes on. All without pounding nails into your wall or having to patch drywall every time you want to move a picture. You may have seen this type of wall display system in an art gallery or a museum. They typically have been reserved for those kinds of venues or upscale interior designers. Well, I'll be the first to admit that I am no interior designer. My goal is to show you the nuts and bolts to create the same look for your house. Now, you may have seen similar looking cable hanging kits to this one online, but I'm here to tell you that there are a lot of gotchas with those retail kits. Gotchas that I found out the hard way. The biggest gotcha is cost. Stas is the market leader for these systems. And while their setup is well thought out, the price adds up incredibly fast. For a display like mine, it can cost hundreds of dollars, high enough to make you abandon the whole project. The other big issue with retail versions is your pictures just don't hang that well. The hardware they give you often tilts the photos away from the wall, and they look silly. And if you choose a display location like mine, next to a door or a window, your pictures will swing around like monkeys hanging from a vine every time the wind kicks up or the door slams. I have solutions for all those problems. But before we start ordering parts, the first step is to find the perfect spot for displaying your art and preparing the wall. Take some time to do a layout of all your photos on a dining room table or the floor to make sure that your space will accommodate exactly what you want to display. You should also make sure your display wall is ready for your art. Take the time now to patch any old holes and give it a fresh coat of paint if it needs it. Now that we have a clean, clear space to work with, we can turn our attention to choosing the hanging system. Most all of the cable wall art kits have a few things in common. There's some sort of track that is hung up on the wall, and then your cables actually slide into that track. And there's some sort of method then to attach your artwork to the cable, like this little hook here. And while all the kits look similar at first, you do have to be careful when shopping. Some kits try to lock you into their own proprietary parts. You want to choose a kit that plays well with other brands down the line. That gives you the freedom and flexibility to mix and match the best and most economical hardware. Look for a kit that uses standard 1/16 of an inch or 1.5 millimeter stainless steel cables. Stainless steel is incredibly strong. It's way more durable than the nylon ones you might run across. I purchased this low-cost kit. It checked all the boxes and gave me most of the things we need to get started. And it was half the cost of the big brand names. When your kit arrives, follow the included instructions for hanging the cable track rail. The kit will provide you with a nice long set of cables. Often that will collide with your furniture below. Or for me, it was this chair rail on the wall. But before you reach for some pliers to shorten the cable, a standard set of wire cutters will likely do damage to the cable and prevent your picture cable stops from sliding on. Instead, you need to use a dedicated pair of wire rope cutters. You can find these online or at a hardware store for about $10. They use a curved blade that is specifically made for clean cuts in stainless wire like this. Honestly, this should be the only specialized tool you'll need to purchase for this entire project. Once you have cleanly cut cables, take a minute and put a drop of thin CA glue on the end of the cable. This will help keep the wire rope from fraying and coming undone. But don't be an idiot like me.
Wear gloves so you don't glue your fingers together as the glue makes its way down the cable. Now that the track is up and the cables are ready, the next challenge is getting the pictures to actually hang straight and flush with the wall. If you use standard hooks that come with the online kits, they often are way too bulky, and they push the artwork away from the wall, causing that annoying forward tilt that we talked about earlier.
To get a clean, professional look, I came up with a homemade solution. Instead of using hooks, I attached a length of tubing to the back of the artwork. And this method completely eliminates the forward tilt and keeps the artwork flat up against the wall.
For the tubing, I'm using this 1/4-inch polyethylene product that is really made for refrigerator ice makers. It's inexpensive, less than $6 for a 25-foot roll. And as you'll see, it works perfectly to eliminate the tilting. Now, when you try to unroll the tubing, it's gonna want to stay curved. And here's the hack to fix that. Drop your cut tubes into some near boiling water for a few seconds. Take them out, lay them on the countertop, and press a cutting board flat over them until they cool, which takes just a few seconds. Poof! Now you have a perfectly straight tube. All of the cable hanging systems use some sort of cable stop or hook to attach the artwork to the cable. I tried all sorts of them. Some are too bulky like the hooks. Others are a pain because you have to use a screwdriver or a special tool to position them. Or the best ones are just too darn expensive, priced upwards of $6 each, and that adds up quickly. Here's what I settled on, these tiny little stops. They slide onto the cable and nest nicely inside the tubing. They use an internal clutch that can be easily moved without tools to change the position on the cable, up or down, perfectly supporting your artwork.
And they're completely hidden behind the artwork, providing a very clean look. A word of caution though, these little stops will only work on 1.5mm cables, as we talked about before, which is why it's so important to choose the right size cables to begin with. Okay, wait a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me go back and show you how to attach the tubing to the back of your artwork.
Ideally, we want the tubing to match the size of the artwork. Cut the tubing the same length as your artwork is tall, minus a 1/4 inch at the top and about 3/4 of an inch at the bottom. This keeps the tubing and the cable stop completely hidden behind the artwork. Also, deciding where to place the tubing is important. For my bigger pieces, like this 11 by 14 glass print, I chose to use 2 cables, one supporting each side. It makes it easier to level and provides better support. But you'll want to be consistent about where you put the pair. Make the distance between the tubing the same on all of your larger pieces. This way your art can be stacked on the same set of cables. Smaller pieces of art just require that you put a single tube exactly down the center of the art. I found this mounting tape made by Gorilla Glue that works quite well for holding your tubing to the artwork. It grabs right away and gets even stronger after curing overnight. For a bit of additional insurance, you want to make sure your tape grips the tubing. You'll want to brush on a bit of this primer. The primer helps create a super strong chemical bond between the Gorilla Tape and the polyethylene tubing. To keep the smaller art nice and flat against the wall, I attached small squares of 3/8 inch foam weather stripping at each bottom corner.
I may have got a little bit greedy with this mounting system, but I decided that I wanted the whole thing to be removable, the tubing, the tape, everything. Just in case I ever wanted to use the artwork in a frame, or maybe hang it on a traditional wall hook. But if you try to tear off that Gorilla Tape and tubing, it's likely going to ruin the delicate photo backing.
Here's the hack. Before adding your tubing, apply a permanent layer of clear packing tape to the back of your artwork before you anchor the tubing with the Gorilla Tape. The super sticky Gorilla Tape will grab the packing tape and hold the artwork tight. But when you are ready to remove the tape and tubing, just pull off the release backing from the Gorilla Tape. Then stretch the foam of the tape and the bond will give way. Sort of like those 3M command strips. After I came up with the solution, I wanted to make sure it was going to get the job done. I mean, the last thing you want is your pictures coming down. So I created up this mock-up with a 6-pound cast iron skillet hanging below for extra load. And over 250 hours later, it was still holding strong. That's more than 5 times what my heaviest picture weighs.
If you're enjoying this video and getting something out of it, please take a second and hit the thumbs up button. It's a quick way of returning the favor. I really appreciate it.
Up to this point, we've focused on hanging rigid materials like glass, metal, and framed prints. But if you're like me, you probably have a lot of regular paper photos too.
I've come up with a slick way to hold all those loose snapshots or postcards or maybe kids' school artwork without having to mount them. And it's done with this magnetic board. And it attaches nicely to our cables. Let me show you how to build it.
It starts with purchasing some galvanized steel roof flashing from the home center for just a few bucks. Scuff the surface of the metal with some 220 grit and wipe it clean. Then attach the steel to some sized hardboard using 3M very high bond tape, which is a strong double-sided tape that is super thin. Now it's just a matter of wrapping the whole thing with some matte colored contact paper. Take your time here. Fold the corners carefully and use a J-roller to make sure you don't get any air bubbles. Finish it off with our tubing technique on the back. And now you have a terrific looking magnetic board for all those photos and loose artwork. And it's super easy to rotate them in and out as you take new photos. Remember how I said earlier if your display was near a door or window, your pictures would swing around like monkeys on a vine? Well, this final step is the secret to locking the entire display down. The trick also uses magnets. I added this steel rail to the bottom of my display wall. A piece of 1-inch wide steel flat bar under 15 bucks. Drill a couple holes for screws to mount it to your wall. After it's up, apply some paint that matches the wall color to camouflage it a bit. Now we use some magnets that thread onto the bottom of our cables and add one of our tiny cable stops. Pull it tight and the swing issue is solved. And when you want to change the wall layout, it's quick and easy to remove without any tools.
Well, that wraps up the how to build. Now you just need to arrange your artwork on the cables and stand back and admire. I hope this inspires you to build a living display wall for yourself. For me, it's a perfect way to show off my dog's achievements. But the truth is, it could be for anything. Important milestones the kids have as they grow up, family photos, travel destinations and memorabilia, or really anything that's close to your heart. I've put links in the description below to all the items that I've mentioned in this video. And again, I would appreciate your help by hitting that thumbs up button. And if you enjoy this type of do-it-yourself content, I would love to have you join me on my journey by subscribing. Well, that's it for now. I'll see you on the next one.